Outer Banks this week presents The Other Side of Fishing with Captain Marty Brill, a time when the captain shares his deepest thoughts, gives fishing advice, and entertains guests. So here he is, Captain Marty.
All right, back with another edition of The Other Side of Fishing with Captain Marty. Marty, how the heck are you?
I'm really good, and I'm especially excited about our topic for today because it takes me back to my boyhood roots in Ponce Inlet, Florida at the south end of Daytona Beach.
All right, we're going to get into that, though, in just a minute. But hey, look, we would not be able to do this without some of our wonderful sponsors. And we got to start with Red Drum Tackle down in Buxton. Red Drum Tackle, closest tackle shop to the point. I mean, between Kara and Bobby and the crew down there, they can get you set up to go fishing, tell you where the fish are biting. They're happy to help you, and they're just wonderful first-class people. They are the presenting sponsor for Captain Marty programming.
They are, and when you say point, just for the benefit of a lot of people, we went over 100,000 hits this week.
Yes.
A lot of those people might not know where you're talking about. That's Cape Point.
Yes.
The very tip of Cape Hatteras.
The very tip of Cape Hatteras. That's exactly what we're talking about. So literally, they're almost directly across the street from the road that accesses down towards the point.
And the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse.
Yeah.
All right there. They're in the epicenter of the world's best surf fishing. Also, the world's largest surf fishing tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the middle of everything. But they build custom rods, including some great offshore tackle. They bought an offshore boat. They know it all.
They do.
From a minnow to a marlin, they got it.
They got it. Absolutely. I think we're due a trip down in the near future, Marty, to maybe do a show
My
with
hat
them.
is almost wore out. I've been gardening in my red drum hat, and it's getting worn.
Well, it still looks good on you, Marty.
Well, I like the soft cotton hats. I don't like those trucker hats.
See, and I like
what
the
about
other
you?
ones.
You like the trucker hat?
I do. They got this style hat that I like.
Okay.
Now, everybody likes those Richardson 410 shotgun hats or whatever. I don't even know what they are for.
Do you wear your hat sideways on your head like that? No.
I wear mine backwards, Marty.
Okay.
I'm gangster like that.
Okay, go ahead.
But
Other sponsors.
yes, other sponsors. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. We also have Wanchi's Marina. Wanchi's Marina down there, 4457 Mill Landing Road. Jump back on this year. They're like, I say, hey, look, y'all want to keep y'all spot with Captain Marty? And it was just like a resounding absolutely. And, of course, Miss Brenda down there, she's keeping them all straight, getting all the bookings and helping with all that stuff. She keeps everybody rolling. You got Miss Jean down at the Landing Grill, keeping everybody fed. I mean, you can book your charter, eat, do it all right there.
Inshore, offshore, working waterman charters, dolphin cruises, all of it.
All of it at Wanchi's Marina and online at wanchismarina.com. And, of course, powering this vessel, we got the power. The largest repower center in all of Northeast North Carolina. We're talking about Radcliffe Marine in Belhaven. Definitely first class all the way. Wonderful people down there, whether it's your Yamaha, your Suzuki, or your Honda. There we go. I was about to say another one, but Honda, they can either get you a new engine. They can repower your old one. They can do all sorts of work, whatever you need done. Radcliffe Marine in Belhaven will be happy to take a look at your engine and see what they can do to help you. So,
absolutely.
And they're online at radcliffemarine.com. And again, can't say enough great things about Ricky Radcliffe. Shane Greekspor, the new owner. Just falling right into the same footsteps as Ricky. It's big shoes to fill.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
But Shane has been working for Ricky for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. So, great little handoff there, a little passing of the torch in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And the word of mouth is what makes a business. And the word of mouth for Radcliffe Marine is always, and I've been dealing with them for over 20 years. They're actually one of my longest sponsors on our program.
True. It's very true.
But the word of mouth you hear on the street is always good.
Yes, absolutely. Marty, you got time before we introduce this good-looking gentleman sitting next to you? I need to tell you a story. You're full of great stories. Okay, there's no doubt about it. But I'm
full of something.
No, you're full of great stories. Okay. That's all you're full of, Marty. But I got to tell you a quick story. I was at Oregon Inlet the other day. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was down there at the fishing center, and I was in the restaurant. Okay, and it's Sea Chef Dockside Kitchen, wonderful place to eat. Great folks in there. I love Mac and his dad. His dad was a James Beard award-winning chef.
Yeah,
had French restaurants and all sort of kind of crazy stuff up in Washington D.C. Yeah, craziness. But they got Sea Chef Dockside Kitchen, and I was talking to Mac about some work stuff, and your name came up, and there was a couple sitting at a table, maybe 10, 15 feet away. And when I was leaving, they stopped me and they said, "Excuse me, did you say you have a podcast?" I said, "Yeah." I said, Outer Banks This Week podcast. And the gentleman looked at me and he goes, "Captain Marty." He said, you work with Captain Marty?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." Mr. Paul Georges and his wife, Christy, he was telling me stories. He was like, "Yep, I remember when Captain Marty was on the reeling."
And he fished on the Captain BC.
Yeah, he loved Buddy Cannon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he loved all those individuals. And I mean, he kept after it because and he just kept telling me about all the boats. And his wife looked at me and said, "You know how some people can like be watching a baseball game and tell you about statistics for like the players and the team or whatever?" She said, "My husband can look at the boats and tell you obviously the name of the boat, who built it, who the mate and who the captain are, and how long the boat's been in the marina." And like stuff like that, like statistics like that. And he was like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, I don't remember as much as I used to, but I think he was kind of trying to be a little bit modest. But like, she's like, "We've been married for 26 years and our honeymoon was here." So definitely really nice couple, and they're huge fans of the captain. And I told him, I said, "You're going to get talked about next time Marty and I do a show." Mm-hmm. So I wanted to shout out to them real quick. It was super cool to talk to him.
Yeah, it was great. I was in a tree. Yes. Well, at least I got a chance to talk to him a little bit. Yeah,
because like Marty, I was like, let's see if we can get a hold of Marty right now. I said, he's doing some work for a friend of his. He's trying to get some. I said, I don't know if he'll answer, but your answer, you're like, "Yeah, I'm in a tree. What do you want?" And I was like, "Hold on, Marty, just real quick."
Well, when you call, I'm thinking you're going to send money, so that's why I always take your calls.
So I just wanted to shout out to them real quick. It was really nice talking to y'all, and thank you for supporting Captain Marty in the program. All right, now, Cap. Again, you have a strapping young lad sitting next to you, good looking, square jawed, good looks. I don't know, I can say that and it's okay.
Yeah, we have with us Ben Brown. Now,
yes.
There's a lot of ways I know Ben Brown, and we have Camille with us too. Camille's first question before we get into the introduction. In the Gulf Coast area, they don't call mates. They call them deckhands. When I went down there, me and Charlie Griffin, and fished the tournaments, they're like, "You call your mates?" And yeah, we always have. What do you call Camille on the boat? Is she a mate or a deckhand?
I don't know. It depends on the day. Sometimes it's a mate.
Yeah. I mean, at Oregon Inlet, they're mates, but Ben, his father fished with me, and it was in my peer group on the, my age group. Fished his grandfather and grandmother. We were part of my Daytona 500 crowd that we went for 15 years with them, and we were all there the day Dale Earnhardt got killed right in front of us, and I mean, some of the biggest moments in Daytona history I did with his grandfather. And his grandfather also hired my niece at the water plant, and she's still there and doing well.
Nice.
So we have a lot of ties, but the real tie that we have is that my beginning, I grew up a block from the headboat docks in Ponce Inlet. And they were offshore headboats during the heyday of snapper and grouper fishing. But I grew up carrying 50 or 60 people offshore, untangling huge groups of rigs and things like that, and learned a lot from some of the legends down there. So I have a background in the headboat. And then this guy comes along, and now he's running the Miss Oregon Inlet. So, Ben, that's your introduction. Thank you for coming. How are you guys? How's it looking for the year? What's going on with the Miss Oregon Inlet?
Everything's looking good so far. Everything's coming together after the winter, doing some work, some painting and sanding, and looking all right, coming together. And we're hoping of course, that it's going to be a good, plentiful year, plenty of people, and ready to take people and see what we can catch. Well,
we were talking off there about our little cruise that our company, One Boat Inc., did with you guys before you were the captain. And I thought, that's going to be long, boring. It was not long. It was not boring. In fact, I didn't want it to end. And we went on an evening cruise. We caught fish. We had fun. We sang pirate songs. You get a lot of that?
I don't know. I'm sure Camille could attest to that.
Yeah. We'll get to Camille because I want to ask her about how you handle that many people at one time. You know? But that's The Miss Oregon Inlet y'all been sponsoring me for a very long time. And tell us a little bit about a lot of people think headboats are thinking going out to the Gulf Stream. This is a mostly calm water inshore type operation, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We've had some people that, somehow or another assume, I guess, in relation to boats north or south of here that we would be going quite a bit, offshore, chasing big fish or whatnot. And I'm not saying we don't catch big fish, of course, but we mainly stay in here inside the inlet and, venture a little outside the inlet a little ways, look for sea bass and triggerfish and things. And then, of course, croakers, spots, bluefish, caught a handful of Spaniards last year, Spanish mackerel inside the inlet and outside the inlet as well. But stuff like that, we kind of hang around close to the inlet and catch the fish as they come in and go back out.
I was a little surprised. How old are you, by the way? You're not very old.
23 years old.
23 years
23.
old. When I heard you were going to be the captain, I said, he's got a tonnage license. It takes a Justin, you would know. The charter boats are limited to most of them to 6 people because that's the license the captain has. To run more than 6 people, you have to have a much more difficult license. You have to have the time documented. Your sea time has to be all. But what made you decide to go ahead and get the full license? And by the way, how old were you when you actually got your tonnage license, your master?
The master's license last year. I got it. I ended up getting hold of it last year. But the endless opportunities, of course, this being one of those great opportunities to run a business and try to do my best to serve, the tourism industry here on the beach, make sure that people get the experience that they ought to have.
So you didn't want to be like your dad and charge offshore. Did you ever do any offshore fishing? Or?
I have not done any offshore mating on charter boats, but I have grown up offshore catching tunas and swordfish and things on Dad's commercial
fishing. Yeah, that's the hard way to do it.
Spent a lot of time out there with those fish, and I spend a lot of time in here. I have spent time in here catching small fish, and I don't know.
And I watched you dock that big boat. That scares me.
I love it.
It's not a matter, Justin, of pulling into an empty marina. You got 30 or 40 of the world's nicest sport fishing boats.
That's right.
And they're all zipping around. Nobody creeps around. They're all zipping around. And he comes right in the middle with that headboat and you got to spin her around and back her into a slip.
Yeah, a lot of times some of the guys, it'll be later in the afternoon. Some of the guys are coming in. You have a whole long line of charter boats behind you. And you got the noser up in the slip there and let them get back in. Let them get back in first and then spin around because you take up the whole inlet. The whole fishing center, the
basin right there.
The creek.
Spin that bad boy around.
Yeah, and you spin her right around, and you would think, big of a bait as it is, that it would be awfully hard to maneuver. But compared to other single screw baits that I've been around, I'd rather handle this thing any day.
Yeah. In my 15 years as a captain in the fishing center, I had single engine boat was the biggest blow in this highest, worst handling boat in the fleet. And I learned to handle that thing. It had the smallest propeller. And then I finished on what is now the boat, the outrigger. I finished with a brand new twin engine Bobby Sullivan built boat that I helped build. That thing was like driving a bulldozer around, and you could spin it on a dime. 2 motors makes a big difference.
It does. Yep, it does.
All right. So tell us, just real quickly, what's the rundown of the trip, the types of trips that you order, some of the things you offer?
Well, we have, as of last year, we offered 3 trips a day, and this year the schedule will be just a slight bit different. We'll take a longer offshore trip, or offshore, here just off the beach, in depth enough to catch sea bass and triggerfish and things, other fin fish. That's a 7-hour trip, and we offer, of course, other parts of the week, inshore trips, 4 hours, and morning, midday, and cruises in the late afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
We also offer plenty of opportunities for private trips, private cruises,
like a wedding party,
wedding parties, birthday parties, anything you want. You want to fish? That's great. If you don't,
you'll cruise around.
Cruise around, check things out. So.
Yeah, it just brings back memories because now let me tell you something. If you're going to go into the industry as a fisherman, and maybe we'll talk to Camille about that a little bit, but there is no better training than a headboat. Here's why. Number one, you're going to learn everything about knots. Now, I'm not talking about just tying the boat up, but knots on fishing lines, things like that. Number two, you're going to learn how to earn a tip. And I learned that as a kid on the headboats. The nicer you were to people, the more you helped them with the bait and thing. And man, if we got a $2 tip, that was a big deal when I grew up. So I'm talking about for a fifth grader, sixth grader is when I started. So, you learn customer service. That's a big part of headboat fishing. And those mates that come off those headboats, when they go onto the offshore boats, I've had several. They're always really good with your clients, so really, really important. And then, of course, you learn to navigate. You also get your sea time, you got to keep a logbook of everything you do. And it's just a really, really good place. Now, I call and when I describe the Miss Oregon Inlet, I'm kind of proud of this because I gave it its name, but not the boat, but I call it a floating fishing pier. That's if you're in Ohio right now listening, that's what you should think of the Miss Oregon Inlet. It's a really good pier and it moves around. Would that be accurate?
That's right. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. A lot of people come on the boat assuming that we don't move around as much, but I try to keep it moving because sometimes during the tides, of course, like you say, you might get to a place that you catch fish and catch fish until at some point it'll slack off and you won't catch them like you were. So it's time to move and try to figure out where they went, try another spot and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I'm Justin about a headboat, which I learned this one from my old captain, when it's good, everybody is really, you got lots of friends. But when it's bad, you got a lot of eyeballs staring at you, So anyway.
It.
Well, and I mean, that's with any fishing trip that you go on.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a question. Of men and women, and this answer is universal in the fleet. Who makes the best anglers, men or women?
I would definitely say I've heard women forever and ever, but I would say watching on the headbait, I would say women.
Yeah.
Most of the time they pay
true.
attention and
that's the key.
It's
here's the thing.
More attention.
I used to get men on my offshore boat and you couldn't tell them anything. They did not want another man telling them how to fish.
That's right.
Women wanted to learn. So you could tell a woman, don't, crank on the downstroke of the rod and do this, and they would master it in 10 minutes.
That's exactly it.
Men would be like, I've fished on the Great Lakes and you ain't gonna tell me. Anyway, hop out of that chair. Come over here a minute, Camille. Switch seats. And we're going to...
Well, let's take a break.
We'll take a break.
We're going to take a break.
Get her comfortable.
When we come back, we're going to call Lee. We're going to call down to Teacher's Lair real quick. We're going to see if we can get a hold of Lee.
All right.
And then after that, we're going to put Miss Camille on. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. We'll be right back with Captain Marty's Other Side of Fishing.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Ben Brown here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet II. She's a modern 60-foot headboat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. We make multiple trips per day out of the world-famous Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Visit MissOregonInlet.com or call us today at 252-441-6301, extension 1. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet II.
When lines are tight and the bite is on, you need fuel that keeps up with the action. Introducing Sport Fisher, the drink built for anglers and adventurers who never quit chasing the next big catch. With bold flavor and serious kick, Sport Fisher keeps you energized from the first cast to the last run offshore. Whether you're chasing tuna, marlin, largemouth bass, or just for a great day on the water, crack open a can and fuel the catch. Grab yours today and learn more at SportFisherEnergy.com. Sport Fisher, because legends don't run out of energy. Surrounded by water, Currituck and the people of the Outer Banks have been shaped and defined by its rich and coastal maritime history. The Currituck Maritime Museum tells the story of Currituck's boat-building forefathers, their remarkable craft, and the legacy they left behind on how to live life and thrive on the waters of the Outer Banks. Discover the Maritime Museum in historic Corolla Park, across the street from the Currituck Beach Lighthouse, and visit us online at CurrituckMaritimeMuseum.com. Be a part of the local history at the Currituck Maritime Museum. All right, back with Captain Marty here and the other side of fishing. Marty, let's make a phone call. We've been talking with Captain Ben, but let's make a phone call real quick. Let's call Lee at Teacher's Lair Marina. I would say let's call Aaron, but he's been I don't know. He got doctor's appointment. I don't know. He told me he had doctor's appointments.
Yeah. And, it's a good day to call Teaches Lair Marina because things are starting to wake up. And you know how it works. They wake up from the south first, Ocracoke, and the south end of Hatteras Highlands. So let's give them a call.
All right, let's see if we can get old Lee Boy on the phone. I had to save his job for him the other day. He's the mate on the Outlaw, which is owned by Ken Miller out at.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right, good. I wanted to make sure you could hear me because I know there's been some. We're having some technical difficulty for a minute there.
Hey, Lee, this is Capt Marty. I got a question for you before we get started. Did you ever watch The Wizard of Oz, the original movie?
Oh yeah.
You remember when the wizard was behind that curtain and he was throwing all the knobs and dials and everything, and they pulled the curtain back? That's what Justin looks like running this equipment this morning.
Everybody's got jokes today. Everybody wants to talk trash.
Now.
Lord have mercy. Well, Lee, how the heck are you, man?
Spurgeon, I'm gonna call him Oz.
Don't call Spurgeon.
Oh,
Lord, don't do that. That's all we need is for him to call Spurgeon.
Oh no, he's out of town. No, I was saying calling you Spurgeon.
Oh, calling me Spurgeon. That's even worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Oz now.
Lee, talk to us a little bit real quick if you don't mind. First of all, like I said, good to hear your voice, man. I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
Yeah, it's good to talk to y'all.
Let me ask you this. We're in March. Spring actually has sprung. I think today is the spring equinox or something.
That is correct.
Is that what it's called?
as of 10 o'clock this morning, it was.
I guess the sun has moved into the northern hemisphere.
The sun has reached the equator on its way back.
On its way back. Okay, so the sun it's like the prodigal son. It's on its way back.
June 21st is whenever it starts way south again at the solstice.
Okay.
I felt like somebody as astronomical as you would know all about that for us, Lee. Thank you.
I do pay attention to moon phases and everything.
Funny story about that. I was talking to Lee one time because we didn't end up making it happen really. I wanted to in the worst way, but I told Lee in the fall one year, I said, Lee, next spring, I want to go drum fishing with you. Because Lee I've said this before, Lee is the red drum Jedi. Okay. Mm-hmm. He is. It's a true story. He can smell them. He can literally be looking at the water and be like, it could be, the water look universal all over. It's the same. And it'd be like, they're over there. And guess what? That's where they are. You know what I'm saying? He's like the Jedi. But
that's any fishing though. You can smell fish.
Absolutely.
Marty, no.
Well, I know because the very first, when I came to Hatteras in 1975, Buddy Hooper took me out in his crab boat to go trout fishing in the Sound one day. I was a 17-year-old from Florida, and we went out there, and he stopped, and he started sniffing the air, and I'm like, what are you doing? He says, you can smell the fish. And sure enough, I said, you're right.
But see, Marty, you did a segment one time years ago when you were in radio, and it was called All Fish Taste the Same.
Oh, don't
To
even
me,
go there.
all fish smell the same.
Well.
Oh, no.
To me, they all smell the same. So, for Lee to be able to pick out the smell of a drum, I believe is something.
Well, Lee can also say, yeah, those are slot limit drum. He can tell them by the size, just by the smell.
But when I was going to book this trip to go on the back bar with Captain Will Smith, when I was going to go with him, I said, Lee, you're going with me. And he said, will you make sure you book it around, what was it, a new moon or a full moon or something?
Either.
And he's like, make sure you look at the moon phases and book it around then.
I've had really good fishing. Of course, over all the years, I've had really good fishing no matter what the moon phase is. It can full, new, in between, high tide, low tide. Ultimately it's a matter of you being there and being ready. I mean, it's like anything. So, but I have seen a lot of good fishing on.
So, Lee, haven't we heard this week just the very first black drum and a couple puppy drum on your end of the beach? Is it?
So yeah, I heard that they caught some pups at the point, toward the point. But we had a slow winter, and we've had some winters in recent years where we've had some good puppy drum fishing, and there were some around. And typically, we're catching we're bait fishing shrimp most of the time, unless there's a lot of fish around. And so with that, obviously you catch the pups, but you get that black drum bite too. And so a lot of times in the winter we're catching both, and you're catching 24, 25-inch black drum as well. And they eat just as good as those puppy drums.
Oh yeah,
when they're that size.
Yeah. I remember Alan down at Tradewind, Alan Sutton down at Tradewind's Tackle used to always say, up to 5 pounds of black drum was his favorite eating fish of any fish. The
meat looks like, it reminds me of like an offshore bottom fish, whether it's a snapper or something like. I mean, it's a real pretty meat.
Yeah. So, what are your water temperatures down there on the beach right now?
So I was when I was looking at the satellite shot yesterday. I looked at it, I was like, holy crap. And I looked at that buoy that's up there off Oregon Inlet, off the beach of Ways. I saw the water had gotten to 61.5, where that water up there had been cold. And anyway, it got me looking at the Rutgers shot anyway. And it's hard to sometimes interpret that one completely, but it was looking like it had jumped up a lot. Well, I had I've got a couple inshore guys that went out this morning, and one of them ran down the beach and said it was, he had 54, 55. So it's actually a little bit cooler than what I was expecting today. But with that being said, I think over the next, today with no wind and the sun, I know it doesn't affect the ocean as much, but it does affect it, I'm sure. And you'll get that up current going. And I would think the next couple of days, we'll be around that 60 mark, closer to it anyway. That seems to be that 58 to 60 range seems to be the magic number for that springtime fishing, whether it's the bluefish, drum, sea mullet, sheephead, all of that stuff kind of seems to come to life once that water temperature gets closer to that.
Yeah.
See, this is why I call him the Jedi, Marty.
Oh, well, and we're going to have 80-degree temperatures. But people do not realize it takes that air temperature can be 80. It takes a long time for that seawater to catch up.
That's right.
It had warmed up.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it had warmed up, and then of course we had. I remember a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, and I think it was a Monday or Tuesday when it blew real hard out of the northeast. And I had one of the drop netters. We got a couple drop netters that fish out at Teaches in their consoles. And he came in and said how the water, like the day before, was 57, and it had dropped back below 50 just from that wind, which that wind shoved that current around the corner up the point. And it's amazing how fast. I had a good example last year. I was taking my dad and a friend out looking for drum. It was early into March, a week later in this. And the day before, Charlie Locke had seen a school of drum up by the point, and the water was 57 degrees. Well, we went up there. When I got up there, the water was 53 degrees. And I was just like, well, there was no point in sitting up there and everything, but I couldn't believe how much just overnight, that current had switched and changed that much.
Well, what's it? Talk to me real quickly. What's been biting down at Teaches or down in the Pamlico Sound or right there off the point? What have y'all been catching on down there lately?
We had yet again another phenomenal bluefin season. I think for us down here, I have not heard a report lately. But as far as where those fish are, but I'm sure those fish are up the line, way up the line. Now, last time I heard anything at that point, they were like on the 650 side. That's kind of gotten out of our range and everything. So I'm not really sure what those guys have been catching. Which I got 3. Was it?
Yeah, they were catching them.
Boats out today.
They were catching them good.
Blackfins around.
Yeah. What about the king mackerel? You had a good winter on them so far, right?
There should be some around. I have not heard. I know there's some guys that are, Patrick, he fishes for them. Well, if they're there all winter long, he'll go after them. I think any of those guys would if they're there. I have not heard a report in a while. I know one of the boats back I guess last month, toward the end of the month, had a really good day from the picture I saw.
Wow.
So, but it's that's going to change. There isn't much going on in the sound yet. Which, with that being said, it's not like there's a lot of coverage. But there's not much. It's kind of that same deal, just waiting on the water to come back and everything. And the beach has been slow. But like I said, and by Sunday, that could be totally different. Really could.
Well, Lee, let me ask you something before we turn you loose. Now, one thing that some people may not also know about Lee is part of his Jedi status, okay? It goes along with it is the fact that he is the mate on a boat called the Outlaw, okay? Owned by Ken Miller of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, okay? What's the status of the Outlaw right now? Is it hauled out? You got it in the water? You doing any work to it?
We hadn't hauled it out yet. We got to haul it out and just do a routine, quick thing. Normally we kind of wait. It seems like it's around this time of year, maybe even April. We typically pull it out, and, do the quick, paint the bottom and that kind of sort of stuff.
Zinc
and
plates
get it back in the water because we start in May, and of course, those first 2 weeks of May can be tough to get out, depending on the weather and everything. We're fired up, ready to go.
Now, what tournament will he fish first?
Well, typically we fish the village tournament the second week of May.
Okay.
And then fish the Big Rock and then the Marlin Club tournament.
Got it.
I'll be there
Last
for both
year we missed the village tournament because we got the boat back down here from the yard. It was that Friday before the Big Rock, and put everything back together to fish that.
So Lee, like Justin said, before we let you go, we're going to play trivia. Okay, for on Justin though.
Oh Lord,
on Justin, because now
you gotta have somebody to pick on. I got it.
Y'all have been one of my sponsors for a very long time, and we know a lot about Teach's Lair Marina. Let's see how much Justin knows about Teach's Lair Marina. So here's your question, Justin.
All right, let's hear it, Marty.
On Hatteras Island, what does Teach's Lair Marina have better than any other marina on the whole entire island?
Whole entire island?
What does it have that's better than any other marina on the whole entire island?
Well, that's easy, Marty. There's two things they have better.
What?
One of them is Lee.
Well,
they got Lee.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, see, look. But the other one, Marty, get the best boat ramp.
That's right.
Look, come on. I'm not as dumb as I look, I promise.
They do have and the reason I know that, because in my years at Marine Fisheries, our boats use their boat ramp a lot. And those guys brag on that boat ramp. Because believe it or not, there are very few boat ramps on Hatteras Island. So, Lee, you guys do a big business there with people that are trailering their own boats in the summertime, don't you?
Yes, we do. We start in May, and of course, once it's getting into June and everything, we do a lot of boats, a lot of boats. Whether it's people that are renting slips for the week or however long that may be, or it's just launching it daily and everything.
Yeah, it's an all-purpose marina. Great boat ramp. I'm sure it's entertaining to watch out the window sometimes.
It can be. A couple years ago, which I fished that day, so I wasn't there. I'm kind of glad I wasn't. The truck ended up in the water. Around the corner, and around the corner from the ramp somehow. They ended up having to flip it upside down to slide it up the ramp because they couldn't get it back up over the lip of the ramp. And so that's probably the craziest thing that's happened in recent times anyway.
Must have been some of Justin's people.
Oh, Marty's got jokes. All right. Hey, let me ask you this, Lee, before I turn you loose. If people wanted to come down there, pay you a visit at Teach's Lair, they wanted to get on a boat, they wanted to hang out with Lee, how do they do it?
Drive down Highway 12 all the way to the end of Hatteras Village, right before the ferry dock. You'll see. I can't say it's a teal building anymore because it's not. It's gray, but it's the only gas station in Hatteras, so it's kind of hard to miss and everything.
All right, so
and you can call us 252-986-2460. try to make sure I remember the number correctly.
And online at teaseslair.com, correct?
There's that website. I forgot about that.
There's the website, Lee. Well, Lee, hey, man, thanks for giving us a few minutes. Just a little heads up. Your boss man from the Outlaw will probably be in contact with you about moving the boat up to Spencer Yachts in the near future. So get your mind right about that. For a haul out, it's some other things.
Yep, we got to get that cockpit ice maker back in that thing.
There you go. All right, Lee, have a good one, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, y'all do the same. Good
Thank
to talk
you,
to
Lee.
y'all.
See ya later.
Bye.
I love Lee. That's one of my favorite dudes in the world. I'm not even kidding.
Good on the air.
Going down to Teach's Lair is, I'll go down there if I have to go to Hatters for work or whatnot. I always start at Teach's Lair, and I'll go and I'll hang out with Lee for about an hour. Even if I don't have any business to do down at Teach's, I just go hang out with Lee for a little bit, and Aaron and the whole crowd down there. Wonderful folks, and they'll take good care of you. You want to go fishing down that direction, you want to hop on a boat, Teach's Lair. Love them to death. All right, quick break, Marty. When we come back, we'll find something to jump into. Who knows what it'll be? It might be a mystery, but you know what? We're going to find it, whether it wants to be found or not.
Yep, so. That's right. Every good mystery deserves to be solved.
I feel like Scooby-Doo right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is our mystery machine. Thanks, Marty. Thanks. We'll be right back with Captain Marty. Electricity, something I don't mix well with at all. And that's why I only trust the folks at ELS OBX. ELS OBX offers a variety of services from custom electrical installations to lighting design. ELS OBX has the experience and know-how to complete any job. They're committed to providing the highest quality lighting and electrical installations or service at affordable prices. Visit them online at elsobx.com to get a brighter idea of how shockingly awesome they are. See what I did there? ELS OBX, electrical and lighting solutions you can count on.
At the south end of Roanoke Island, in a quiet little village, lies Marina, known for having one of the finest fishing fleets on the Outer Banks. Whether it be an offshore excursion, a nearshore charter, or headboat fishing, Wanchese Marina is where to go. Wanchese Marina is a full-service marina, complete with a fueling dock, bait, tackle, ice, and the landing grill restaurant. All of this is just a few minutes from some of the finest fishing spots around. Book online at wanchesemarina.com. Wanchese Marina, 4457 Mill Landing Road, Wanchese.
Hey y'all, Captain Marty here to tell you that when my friends are in the market for a new boat engine, repair, or repower, I send them to the best in the business, and that's at Ratcliffe Marine in Belhaven. Ratcliffe Marine is your official Honda outboard dealer. Honda motors are designed to get you on the water fast and get you back to the dock safely and quickly. Ratcliffe Marine is best known as the largest repower center in North Carolina. So when you're in the market for a new motor or you need your Honda service, go to Ratcliffe Marine, 865 Highway 264, Belhaven.
All right, back with the other side of fishing with Captain Marty. Now, Marty, we've talked to Ben, okay, and we have talked to Lee down at Teach's Lair. Got a little bit of a Southside Beach report, you know. And I mean, I'm loving the direction that this show is going in. We've got a great show going right now, and it's going to get even better because we've got Miss Camille here.
Yep,
she is actually the mate.
Or deckhand,
however you want to say it.
On the Miss Oregon
Inlet. The Miss Oregon Inlet II.
And she's young, just like Ben.
Yep.
And she's a little nervous, but we're glad to have her on board. And why do I want to talk to Camille? Because I've only raised daughters and granddaughters.
Okay.
I don't know anything about boys at all. But when I see a girl handling a headboat crowd, 50 or 60 people, that's really that's
impressive.
We've had some great female mates come to our fleet over the years that have gone, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But Camille, welcome. Thank you. So how in the world did you end up on the Miss Oregon Inlet?
Well, I don't know. I've always been really interested in fishing and always really wanted to try it.
So you showed up on the Outer Banks and you got on the Miss Oregon Inlet, and how did it get? Was it like you expected?
I mean, kind of. I didn't really know what to expect because I didn't grow up around it.
You did not grow up around professional fishing or any fishing?
Any fishing.
You're a farm girl. You've already told me you're kind of a farm girl. You never fished for crappie in a pond?
Oh, well, I did. I bass fish.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that.
To me, a crappie is the hardest fish in the world to catch. I've tried 3 times. You'll have to show me how to catch one.
Would you say you're crappy at it, Marty?
I'm pretty crappy. In North Carolina, we say crappie. In Virginia, they say crappie. But anyway. All right, so you came down and you gave it. How long have you been on the Miss Oregon Inlet? This should be your second season, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the hardest part of your job?
I don't know.
How about kids? Or you get a lot of kids, don't? Isn't it a good place to teach a person to fish on a headboat?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get lots of kids, actually.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts about it because I love the kids.
Yeah, and the good point is, Camille, is that it's not a long trip. Like people would tell me on my offshore boat, how young can we bring our kids? And I would say like 13, but they'd show up with some 8-year-old that was seasick all day long for 12 hours. And it was just a lot. Some of them can deal with it on a pretty day, but on the Miss Oregon Inlet, I mean, it's a lot shorter trip and it's mostly calm water. So it's good for kids, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have little kids like 4 or 5 years old that are over there struggling to hold the fishing pole, but they do better than some of the adults.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think when you get the kids on the boat? I mean, what do you give them hands-on service? You'll actually show them how to bait the hook, or you even bait the hook yourself, probably sometimes, right?
Yeah. Most of the time I don't know. It depends. Some people don't want to bait the hook, so I just bait it the whole time for them.
So the headboat, though, it offers other stuff. Don't you have like a little snack bar on there or something? Do you offer drinks? I don't even know what y'all offer.
We do have some like snacks and drinks and stuff.
So if someone's coming on the Miss Oregon Inlet, what do they need to bring? Like, what do they need to do to prepare?
We really have everything provided for them.
Rod and reel. By the way, I don't even know. Can you bring your own rod and reel or no? Or does that it's a judgment call?
Well, I mean, you can bring your rod and reel, but the type of equipment that we have on there is kind of specific
for what you're doing.
Fishing that we do. So if you bring your own rod, you might not be able to use it. Okay.
And you don't need a fishing license, right? Because you're covered by the headboat blanket license.
Yep, that's right.
So that's like a fishing pier as well. All right. So anyway, Camille is at Oregon Inlet, and I'm going to tell you something. If you walk the docks, the best person to talk to, Ben's over there shaking his head, is always the mate. If you want to know how your day is going to be, talk to Camille at the dock. And Camille, thank you for talking to us for a few minutes.
Yeah,
and congratulations. You did fine. I think you have a career in radio if the headboat stuff doesn't work out.
If that don't work out, let me know. We can figure something out for you.
Good job.
Thank you. Great job. All right, Marty, we'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll wrap this thing up, and we'll I want to talk to you a little bit about what's been caught here lately, some different things. We're going to bring that up here in just a few minutes. So quick break, wrapping this thing up with Capt Marty here on the other side of fishing.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brain power, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
Frisco Woods Campground, a family-owned gem for over 50 years, offers a perfect getaway on Hatteras Island. Whether you prefer tent camping, electric water sites, RV spots, or primitive camping cabins, there's something for everyone. Guests enjoy free hot showers, a refreshing pool, and breathtaking sunsets over the Pamlico Sound. Nestled in nature yet close to local attractions, Frisco Woods Campground provides a peaceful retreat with modern comforts, making it an ideal destination for outdoor enthusiasts and families alike. Book online at the Frisco Woods Campground.com. Frisco Woods Campground. 50 years of memory making on Hatteras Island.
Let's be real. No one wants to deal with nasty varmints like mice, roaches, creepy crawlies, and critters. Leave that work to the experts at Outer Banks Pest Control. Outer Banks Pest Control is the best on the beach when it comes to eradicating those unwanted creatures. They've been in business for over 25 years with well over 100 years of combined exterminating experience. Specializing in both commercial and residential properties, Outer Banks Pest Control has all the tools and equipment necessary to take on any pesky job. They pride themselves on top quality customer service and workmanship. Hey, if it ain't red and yellow, it's just some coattail riding fella. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best on the beach with a proven track record of excellence since the year 2000 and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com.
Oh, All right, we're back with the other side of fishing with Captain Marty. Going to wrap this thing up. Marty, we've still got Mr. Ben here, Captain Ben. I keep calling him Mr. He's Mr. Ben, but he's also Captain Ben of the Miss Oregon Inlet II.
23-year-old captain of running a headboat like that. And I'm going to tell you something. He does a great job. I've already heard really good things about him and Camille and their crew. And, Ben, one thing we forgot to say, how do you book? How do you get a ticket?
Oh yeah. Well, you can walk up to the fishing center.
And this would be the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center.
That's right. Yep. Walk up there to their booking desk. We'll be at the forward facing part of the building, the one you see from the road.
Mm-hmm.
And walk up in there and tell them you want to book a ticket, and they have the schedule printed out right there. You can look and choose whatever trip you want, and or you could go online and book on the internet. We have a website that takes you right through the fishing center, or however it takes you right to the website, and you can look at the dates and look at the times, the trips, and all. Choose whatever you want and make you a trip.
And if people don't know where Oregon Inlet is, it's on the north side of Hatteras Island. And Justin, in the fishing guide getting ready to be published, I did a little article about how it got its name, and it was actually a hurricane, and I forget the year, but it was in the early 1800s. A hurricane blew through there and opened up where there was nothing. It opened up a new inlet, and the first boat to go through it was a paddle wheeler called the Oregon. And that was the first one to navigate through Oregon Inlet, and it became
Oregon Inlet.
And,
all right.
Because everyone said Oregon, or we're not on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's how I've had people like, I don't understand why it's called Oregon Inlet. Yeah. But so I wanted to real quick, talking about bookings and everything like that. You can go to missoregoninlet.com. Beautiful website, by the way.
Yep.
Beautiful website. And you can look at the different fish, some of the stuff that they've been catching. Shows a little bit of a little video header when you first open up the screen about, just the cruising and whatnot. And you can scroll through the website. You can look, and has a little, spot right here where you can have about halfway down, do the booking, morning, daytime, whatever you're looking for. Has the phone number on here. Lots of different things that you can look at. Look at that big old party. Look at that party. Look at, there's Lily right there. Look at Lily right there right up there in the bow.
Yep. You can, this is the best way to teach kids to fish. And
yes.
It's not but a short few hours, and you're back to the dock, and it's mostly calm water. Just really a great way to introduce people to fishing. I'm thinking I was in third grade when I started on headboats, and we were going 60 miles offshore, and I think I've told you this before, I got seasick 200 times. The first 200 times I went, I got sick every time, and somehow I made a career out of it.
199 times.
Yeah.
It's 200.
Luckily, I never got seasick in North Carolina, but I got growing up on them old headboats down there, and that was different ball game. But this is a modern, comfortable boat, places to get out of the weather. It's really, really first-class operation.
Absolutely. Well, Marty, before I turn you loose, I need to know, give me a little bit of a fishing report here lately. I know it's been kind of, we're in that transition. It's March right now. It's been kind of a transition. We're getting things, it's the spring equinox or I don't know, Chevy equinox something. What is it?
We're getting ready when the surf and pier stuff will start firing up, but we have had a world-class bluefin tuna fishery ever since Christmas.
Lee was saying some stuff.
That. Dave Wright, my old buddy up at Virginia, caught an 850-pound bluefin tuna. We've had 500, 600, 700 pounders all through January until they close the quota close. You can still catch them, but you got to let them go. We have people coming from all over the world testing high-tech tackle, catching them on spinning tackle.
Lord have mercy.
They're throwing popping plugs or jigging spoons. That has been world-class. But you and I have gotten so used to talking about it, we just take it as second nature.
Yeah.
Most people are like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
But yeah, things are getting ready to change. Things really have slowed down in the backcountry to a stop. And that'll be picking back up again. Captain Dickie Harris went yesterday up over to the Chowan River, and they did really good on rockfish, even though that's...
Don't even bring those up, Marty.
Yeah.
That's a sore subject for me because that's one of my favorite fish to eat.
So, the season is closed on those. You know that, right?
Yes, I'm aware. But isn't it like at a certain point, though?
Well, all of it's closed now, but the inland fishery was open until just recently.
But that was like from the Albemarle Sound,
west.
just the west. It wasn't the Croatan Sound. It was just
joint waters, coastal waters, and there's inshore waters. But so Ben, we should ask Camille this question. So if you go out,
there's
fishing,
still time, Miss Camille. We can still ask you questions if you want to.
If you go out and catch a striped bass, okay. Right now, the season's closed.
See, I don't like striped bass. I like rockfish. They're my favorite.
So if you catch a striped bass out of season, what is it called? Jailhouse rock.
I knew what you were about to say. Jailhouse rock.
Good.
Yes.
That's good.
You almost
Marty and his Elvis jokes.
That's all I got, though. It is the slowest time of fishing of the year, but getting ready to change drastically.
Well, and I mean, I remember when it did change. I mean, I think the speckled trout season last year was just, insane. I mean, it just seemed like everything just really started popping off when we got closer to summer, I mean.
And we did have that big cold stun event, but that's 2 years in a row. They bounced back good last year. And I mean, we were thinking we wouldn't see a speckled trout, but you caught them all through the summer, didn't you? A little bit here and there?
Just a handful, but all the baits around us, the inshore charters, the guys, that run up on the shoals and all and cast, and man, they the whole season last year from spring into fall wore them out.
Right up there behind Duck Island.
Yep.
I was going to say, I know exactly what you're talking about, too. All right. Well, we appreciate Mr. Ben coming in and hanging out with us, and Miss Camille. Thank you. Your podcast debut was great. Do you have any closing thoughts, Miss Camille? We can throw the mic to you real quick. No? Okay.
I don't know.
Capt Marty's Other Side of Fishing again, all brought to you by Red Drum Tackle and online at reddrumtackle.com. Of course, power in this vessel. We've also got Juan Cheese Marina and online juancheesemarina.com. Radcliffe Marine, largest repower center in all of Northeast North Carolina, and online at radcliffemarine.com. All right, that's going to do it for us, Cap. Another edition of The Other Side of Fishing with Capt Marty. We do want to thank Captain Ben Brown from the Miss Oregon Inlet II coming in and hanging out with us. Great way to spend time out on the water. It's fun for the kids. It's fun for the whole family. Go to missoregoninlet.com for more details on how you can book a charter. Mr. Ben, Captain Ben, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. Any closing thoughts, Cap?
No, I don't really have anything great. We've had a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
I'm just anticipating, an 80-degree weather this weekend. You know where I'm going to be.
I know exactly where you're going to be.
My hands dirty.
Yes, you will.
Working on all kinds of new things in the garden. Grafting fruit trees is my new. Someone told me at the gym today I'm the mad scientist now. So
yeah,
what do you see? It's pretty neat.
I saw the ground. You showed it to me.
You can take an apple from 4 different kinds of apples and graft them on. Have 4 different kinds of apples on one tree. And I'm getting ready to show Camille how I'm doing that.
That's a segment for another day. All right, extended edition.
Justin, you keep avoiding me every time I bring up the garden stuff. I know.
Extended. We're gonna talk more gardening in the near future. Okay. So we'll bring that up another day. But extended edition of The Other Side of Fishing with Capt Marty. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
Thank you for listening to The Other Side of Fishing with Captain Marty Brill, all brought to you by Red Drum Tackle. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app. Just search Captain Marty and share this episode with your favorite fishing friends.